Okay, so this is our blending stump or smudge stick. Either way, it's the same thing. These are lovely because this is going to allow us to blend these values together to make it nice and smooth. Growing up drawing, I always use my finger, and then I would have a bunch of graphite on my finger, and it doesn't do the job. So this is really going to help us out, and this is going to be key. So make sure you have one of these. So here we go. Again, I'm holding it on the side, and what I'm starting to do is I'm going to go blend those together, and you can see instantly how nice that puts everything together. I'm not really pressing hard. I'm applying a little bit of pressure, but not that much. So I'm just kind of coming up, blending these together. And you can see where I pressed hard with the graphite because it leaves lines, and we're trying to just obscure those and bring those together. So we're going left to right around town. Oh yeah. And then up. And one of the things that happens is that when you do this, it pushes graphite together, and sometimes when you do that, it loses its oomph. So you could see now that all that graphite came onto my blending stump. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back and I wanna grab my 6B again. And you can see how much more potent the pure graphite is as opposed to the stuff that has been kind of watered down. So it's a working process, like I said. We're gonna go through, start to rebuild. Take your time. Holding on the side, just pretending that my pencil is on a ball, and I'm just going around and around. So getting to a point now where I'd like to start to push those lighter values, like to push where the light is coming from. So I'm gonna go now, I'm gonna take my kneaded eraser, and with my kneaded eraser, I'm gonna hold it like this. Great thing about it is you can make it to any shape that you want to get rid of any little area. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna erase in the same way that I'm drawing. Again, if you erase too much, it's not a big deal. Nothing to worry about. I'm sorry about the weird highlights that I have coming through from my light in my kitchen, but it is what it is. You guys can get the gist of it. So I'm going through now, blending stump, getting all blendy-like. And I'll go back to my pencil. So really what we're looking for when we're doing this, we're looking for a wide range of value, like I was talking about in the beginning of my talk, which is you want to see many shades of gray. You just don't want to see, you don't want to see black, gray, and white. You want to see dark, light, lighter, lightest, darker, you know? You want to be able to see all these because this is really what's going to help sell your illusion of three-dimensional shape. And again, within life, there's a lot of different shades of gray. And that's what we should work with. One of the great things, just as a tip, is that when we have this loaded up already, you can sometimes just draw with this if you're going for a lighter shade, because it's already loaded up. Okay, so going through. We're using our imagination. Okay, so something to work with. Now to really sell this, I'm going to make a shadow. And the shadow, there's no real secret to the shadow. It starts at the base and it goes around like that. And the shadow is always going to be a flat, dark shadow. Shadows usually have the same value throughout. And one thing that I like to do is I like to make a crisp separation between the object and the shadow. If I was in the Old West, I would say that this shadow is at high noon or 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I guess. So, because I guess if it was noon, it'd be directly underneath. Anyway, I will not ding you on a wrong facing shadow as long as it jives with the overall light source that we have, okay? So we have our beginning of our correct value shape, drawing with value. Now, what we're going to do for our first assignment in our class is we are going to have you draw 10 shapes. So when we're drawing our 10 shapes, what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for this value shade, this value from dark to light, and I don't want to see this. So we have our black, gray, and white. bad. This one has stars, because that's good. So what we're looking for is I want you to draw 10 different shapes. When we're drawing our different shapes, here they're small, just because it's just my one page, but I've given you a sketchbook, and your sketchbook has a lot of paper, and we should use it up. Each shape should be at least 4 inches. 4 inches. We have rulers in the class, borrow one. They should be large. When you're drawing your shape, again, we don't want to have an itty bitty shape like this and trying to get them all neat on a page. I want you to have at least this much room so that you can really move with the object. So 10 shapes is what I would like you guys to practice. When you're drawing your shapes, what I want you to do is I want you to indicate a light source. It could be from anywhere that you want it to be, any side that you want it to be on. It does not matter to me. This just tells me as the instructor what you're working with and how you're working with and what you're doing so that I can help you better. So these are the 5 shapes that I recommend to start off with. The other 5 shapes are up to you. They could be block letters, they could be fruit, instruments, buildings, whatever you want them to be, they're up to you, but they at least need to be 4 inches. So before I let you go, the one step that I want to show you, because this one's tricky for whatever reason for people, is people have a hard time drawing a cube 3-dimensionally. Now I have this slide on the website so they can look at this. This is the step to draw a 3-dimensional cube right here. You start with a diamond. Then you imagine that the diamond has legs coming down from its corners. We can't see this one. Then all you do is parallel these lines and you draw there to there, okay? Doesn't need to be perfect. Don't need to use a ruler, but you need to have it at least 4 inches. So with that, when you're done, bring it up to me. You could email me the pictures if you'd like to. Do not do a PDF picture if you have a scanner, because it loses some of the nice of the values. So with that, we're gonna start with this, and this is going to eventually lead us to drawing realistic portraits, okay? Last thing, I know I keep saying last thing, is pause it whenever you need to pause it. Take your time. This video is not going anywhere. Pause it, take your time, be critical, have fun. Thank you so much.